My name is Harmony Corrine. I'm here tonight at Toronto because my new movie Aggro Drift is playing at midnight. Aggro Drift was really a new kind of film for me. I was kind of trying to get to a place where I was actually not even really wanting to make movies anymore, wanting to make films. So it was like an attempt to kind of see what's after for me, like normal linear filmmaking. So it was more like a sensory based, like an experience. So it's the first time it's kind of like, in some ways, closer to like a video game. Uh, but it's a kind of about like this dystopian tropical uh, hitman.
It's a very, very stylish film, very idiosyncratic film. What do you prefer, the visual style or the themes of the movie?
I wanted to do this hitman thing, but we had spent like a year. I wasn't really, again, it was like wasn't even no one even really knew we were making a film until after it was done, and
Wow.
um, so I'd spent like a year with like a lot of uh, this kind of almost like a lab with like a lot of tech people and VFX guys and my cinematographer and stuff. It was like closer to like a design collective. We'd set up this company called Edgelord, and it was really just trying to like create like what I was feeling was like kind of like new type of experience. And so we developed like the language of the film, the look of the film, the thermal and the VFX, and so there's some bit of AI incorporated into it. And then from there, that's when like it developed into the kind of concept that became the film. Yeah, and as thermal imaging cameras, we got cameras. We experimented with these cameras from NASA that they're heat based, and so um, and obviously thermal coloring, and then but there was a lot of layering, so it was like a composite image. It was thermal, then there was like raw. It was like it was a layer. It went through like a whole process to get to where it was. But on its base, we used like these kind of these like advanced thermal cameras. It took a while, and then kind of like I'd heard about these cameras and the way that they reacted to heat and the color, and so it was just like a thing where we just kind of asked, and then they let us experiment with it. Yeah, I mean, we used a lot of like we also were using like gaming engines, and we had like game developers also helping kind of like work on some of it, and it was really it was layered, and then obviously VFX, and then AI is like worked into some of the visuals, but yeah, it was really it was kind of like an attempt to see like how do you make something that feels like almost like a sensory bombardment. We never like were trying to make like a traditional narrative. It was more like what comes after that. And so I've been spending more time playing games and then watching films in the last couple of years, and then that's really kind of how it took over. We're just using AI to kind of work itself into some of the visuals. It's part of like a layer. It's almost like icing on this. So sometimes when you see like some of the imagery, some of the moments where like there's everyone kind of describes it differently, but like when you see movement within the characters and stuff like that, some of that's kind of like designed. It's just very like a very base storyline. It's very simple because the visuals, the audio is so extreme. I felt like it really just needed like the storyline itself needed to be like reduced almost to its like core essence. It really is just about a world where it's Miami. It's like a kind of like almost like a tropical like a dystopian kind of environment where there's like nothing left except for gangs and killers, and that's pretty much it. And then you have this one guy who's the main character, the hitman Bo, who's like he's blessed to be like the greatest. Like he has this talent, but he also it's his ultimate curse. It's like a glitch world. It's not really this world. It's something. It's like hyper real. It's like the real world pushed into something really extreme. So obviously, like yeah, there's like demons and all these characters. This is like kind of like what's left in the world. This is like I guess the lore of Aggro Drift. Arab Music as a producer does a lot of beats and stuff, and I'd always loved his soundscapes and like really just like super moody, like intense soundscapes. So again, it was like this kind of had this like gaming vibe to it. And it's very like bombastic and like and huge. I really wanted the film to like work like a kind of like an audiovisual like attack. It's just short for, well, drift is like kind of music, I guess, like, drift, but it was really just short for like the aggressive drifter. I just like the idea of the aggressive drifter, which is really what his character is. And then drift and cars and drift music, and it just kind of it just kind of worked. I still don't even know if it's what you would call a film. I mean, it's a film. It's maybe not a movie. I don't really know. I've been calling them blinks because it's just like, for me, uh, it's like starting to use like a different type of language and not really linear storytelling in a way. It's a more kind of immersive thing. So for them, nobody really knew. Yeah, they didn't really have any clue that we were making film. There was not even really like a real screenplay. A lot of it was freestyled off of just pictures and drawings and stuff, and boards that we had made and, or animated. But there's no real there was no real script. But I was as we were going, I was kind of like seeing like the very kind of like loose narrative. I was feeling it starting to form. I honestly, there's really like nothing like this. So there is no real right or wrong way to take it. I hopefully people will just kind of like go with the experience of it. It's not like it's not, again, like a movie, a normal film. It's its own experience. So I feel like if you just kind of like let go and just like let it wash over you, it's a fun. I'm not really interested in like movies anymore, like normal filmmaking. I don't really want to do it anymore. So I've created this like lab in Florida, this like kind of almost like a creative hub, or a design group called Edgelord. It's like we're basically like experimenting with a lot of this kind of different types of tech, and like just seeing like how far we can push it and like where it can go, and like whether it's films or games, or anything from like filters to games, or a lot sometimes um we'll just kind of find it as we go. But I'm not really that interested in like normal movies anymore, to be honest with you.